The last great coliseum. We've seen it before in the Integrity Racing League this year, but this time by, it's got a fresh coat of not pavement, but dirt as we get things going in the 9th round of the season here from Dirt Bristol. Qualifying already underway as we are getting things kicked off here. Tom Wetmore, a 2-time winner of the season, is in frame, and as it stands, 18 drivers have taken their qualifying laps with 1 minute and 47 seconds remaining on the board. I'm David Kreutz, your host for tonight's event. I do hope you enjoy tonight's presentation as we get things kicked off here in Bristol, Tennessee, the last great coliseum, looking to have some great racing as right now Wetmore is the top man on the board in qualifying by 14 one-thousandths of a second. Seth Wells sits in position number 2. Then it's going to be Alan Dobbs in 3rd, Nick Tarbuck in 4th, and Trevor Drago in 5th, with Bobby Ross position number 6. At the moment, it looks like Wetmore, one of the very few drivers taking extra practice laps. Matt Jonas right now is as well, and it looks to be Ford out there for now, as Sam Nito in the number 2 machine currently lines up 14th on the board. He's getting right there on the track as well. Don't count out Cody Smith or Kevin Matz, as it's going to be Smith going down to the inside line there, collecting his car and getting it back underway, as Kevin Matz currently going to be 17th position on the board. Less than a minute remaining here in qualifying, and not another driver has gone on the track to start a qualifying run. It looks like the 18 that have already gone through will be set to start where they have qualified, unless someone comes out right about now, because these laps take about 20 seconds long. So if you get through pit exit just right, you might have enough time for it, but I don't believe at this moment there will be any opportunity. So the qualifying lineup appears to be all but set. So with that being said, we will take it down to your starting grid and get that on your screen in just a moment. Wetmore goes down pit road because he knows he's gonna, of course, get a few more minutes on track as second practice begins as soon as qualifying concludes. Wetmore goes out of pit road that time by and spins it around, and this time, of course, spinning after pit road. Has 1 win on the season, made it to just after at Chicagoland. As a matter of fact, not Chicagoland where he got done, getting it done just a bit before that event. It was a big pit road race for him to get it through, and that he was able to do, as he is a 2-time winner. 1 dog fight at Gateway, at another where he did spin on pit road in Richmond. Without further ado, though, your qualifying is already concluded here in Dirt Bristol, and we'll be able to get it on your screen in just a moment. And the man who's going to be on that provisional pole position, well, he made it pole for certain, as this is going to be your starting grid for round number 9 of the season here in Dirt Bristol. And it looks like right now it's actually not going to be showing on your screen, so give us just a moment before we do just that. That's going to be a timing and scoring error. Unfortunately, that does happen sometimes with our service. This will take us just a second to fix, as we still have just under 4 minutes remaining here on the board. This will only take a second here as Wetmore rounds the turns. You can still see he's going, but right now our time and scoring was not going at all. But we are getting it back on our way. The starting group will be there in just a moment. It looks like it's not ready when we are, but we should be good to go to get it back on display, as right now Cody Smith right in front of Tom Wetmore's second practice. It is on the move here, as it's going to be the Wetmore machine going through the back straightaway. Now let's get it on for certain this time. It is going to be your starting grid that is all set up. So without further ado, let's do it one more time. This will be in fact your starting grid for tonight's event here in Dirt Bristol. Tom Wetmore, the top man on the board, in the first spot with a 19.178, right beside Seth Well with a 19.192. In second, inside row number 2, going to be Alan Dobbs in 3rd. He had a great run last night at Iowa, looking to back it up with a double podium finish result 2 nights in a row. Dobbs going to be there with a 19.274, as Nick Tarbuck going to be 4th on the board with a 19.302. Your post hitter from last night's race looking to go a few spots up tonight to get that victory here in the Tuesday series. Going to be Trevor Drago rounding out the top 5 with a 19.314 in that 37, as Bobby Ross going to be there in the 44, 6th on the board with a 19.325. Boomer Logan position number 7. He's going to have it there with a 19.354, as Ryan Farrell getting right beside him with a 19.374, and Don Stevenson going to be there in 9th, 19.523, as Matt Jonas rounds out the top 10 with 19.611. From there on out, It goes as follows. Ross Cato going to be there in the number 11 machine when it comes to position inside row 6 for the 12, 19.705, as Brad Patton's there inside the top dozen in 12th, 19.752 for him. Jacob Fife going to be 13th, 19.803, with Sam Needle getting 14th and 19.825. Going to be Cody Smith, position number 15, 20.299 for him. A major fall off between 14th and 15th, as the man outside row number 8 is going to be Joe Yakes, 20.377 on his end. Kevin Matt's going to have it there, 20.983, and he'll be 17th. Next to the second to last man, it's going to be the last man to take a timed lap in qualifying, and that will be Nicholas Ward in the number 97 machine here with a 21.123 on the board for Nicholas Ward. Going to be Guillermo Alvarez in the 19th spot and Jay Haishman in the 20th position. And from there on out, a few of the drivers have yet to take laps in this session, not just in qualifying. Haishman going to be 20th, but then we go to Jorge Canales in position number 21 in that number 84 machine. No time on the board for him. And the final man in this session who is registered is going to be Randy Fash in position number 22. And that will be your starting grid for tonight's event, round 9 from Dirt Bristol, as we get things going. Wetmore rounding each and every turn here. We'll get your ticker back on the screen in just a moment, as that number 51 looks to back up some good momentum entering tonight's event, looking to go for win number 3 on the season. Not there just yet, but getting closer and closer as one of the dominating forces in this season early on. One of those guys far above the playoff bubble right now. Still a lot of time to determine who will make it in and who will not, as he leads this season in wins thus far with 2. And right now, a few winners are not in this one. As a matter of fact, Halen Haight does not appear to be in the session. Keep an eye out for that, so some winners won't be here to look for yet another, but a good majority of the regular field is throughout the entirety of this grid. Trevor Tragle, the fast man on the board right now in second practice. He's got a 19.136 that time through from McConey Setup Shop. Going to be Bobby Ross in second with a 19.307, and Tom Wetmore position number 3 as the number 51 machine goes through once again, and he's going to make big contact with Brad Patton that time through and roll right up the track with 8 seconds remaining here on the board. Cody Smith gets on his way, but it'll be no use for an extra lap as Trevor Trago's the fastest man here in second practice. Warm-up is over, and Trago gets it done with only 6 laps timed and scored. And without further ado, no other time until we get into this race, your 125 lap main event for the half-mile track in Bristol, Tennessee. It is going to be, of course, all up to every one of these drivers. Do expect a stage break to break it up, but nonetheless, despite all the action we might get, despite all the turmoil, we are in for one quick show. Alan Dobbs already on the grid here. Tom Wetmore due to be there in just a moment. He is not at this time. Trevor Trago there. It looks like just about half the grid is here so far, as we have a field of 22 to get things kicked off here in the last great Coliseum. Seth Well going to be there, waiting on Matt Jonas and Tom Wetmore until we can get it going and until we can grab some gears. And right now, Tom Wetmore going to be the last man to get onto this grid, even though he'll be lining up first on this grid. How about the irony there, as now the 51 is going to be in the show, and we will be getting ready to get our 2 pace laps in, courtesy of the iRacing official pace car, and will be led in just a second. Every driver looks to be ready, and all eyes anticipate the 51, the 88 to get this thing on a roll. Wetmore gets it going just a bit later on the inside line, but nonetheless, he is ready, and we are all set for yet another great show here in the Integrity Octane Series. And it's going to be yet another one with the great guys such as Seth Well and Tom Wetmore on the front row. They combined for 3 wins this season out of the 9 races we have ran, including this one. They've got a third of the wins locked up so far, on pace to have some great championship battles involving the best of the best up in the field. And Nick Tarbuck, who is lining up in 4th. He is the highest man in points coming out of the night that does not have a win, so keep that in mind as it all goes down. He's chasing victory number 1, and while he chases that checkered flag, he's already 39 points up on the bubble, the safest of any driver who has not locked himself in with a win. Out of every driver in this season so far, we have 6 race winners, Tom Wetmore getting 2 of which coming out of the night showdown. So with that being said, only 1 multi-race winner according to our standings here. We could get yet another. But Dirt Bristol, it's a tricky track to handle, unlike any circuit, because the pavement, well, it is all for naught, and these guys will have to deal with the dirt, which is ever-changing, and it always adapts to how these drivers run inside line, outside line. You can see some grip strips forming right now. Tom Wetmore looks to get the power down on the grip on, as we are going to be green flag for the first time here tonight. Round 9 at Bristol is underway. And as they come side by side at a strike that time by, it looks like Wetmore barely leads lap number 1, and it's going to be a driver not on a Nat Wetmore right now. He is all active. The handwork is clear, and Seth Well has some virtual white gloves, so we can watch him as well. And these two giving us one hell of a battle to get this thing kicked off. How about this? As they all get it going, one driver going to be in a bit of trouble. Boomer Logan losing some time on the high side, but he keeps it going nonetheless. And 3 laps in, 3 laps are indeed down, and drivers are getting those dirt bundles to fly. It's all about going up high, going down low when you need it. Everyone's getting settled in, and right now Boomer Logan looking to be settled out of the preferred groove, as Jacob Fife going to take him side by side here for position number 13. Gets it done on the 94 machine right now. One to watch on the way down is the Boomer Logan machine, and we'll see whether or not he's able to recover it, as he is in a cloud of dust every time he goes into turns 1 and 2. Riding aboard, Logan right now does have some control, but he's tagging the wall almost every single time he heads into corner entry, and you can see he has some dirt obscuring his view, and it's going to be some of which from the Sam Nito machine right in front. Nito has been due for multiple chances at victory. Richmond and Chicagoland got close twice over, but was not able to get it done. The reason? Hardware malfunction, disconnected early from both races, and that was all she wrote for his winning chances. He was able to recover last week, but this week is going to be especially important. If he wants any chance, he'll have to prove that point, as right now he goes up high trying to get some momentum going on these guys, as they're all getting spread out already. And we got one man who looks to be in an awful lot of trouble. That's going to be Boomer Logan indeed, and now he falls down to the inside line. He's right there with Randy Feisch. I do believe Logan might have got a penalty there for perhaps hitting the commitment cone on pit road. Now it's going to be Feisch all the way in the back. Boomer Logan there as well, and it's going to be one driver 1 lap down in Feisch already, and that means the 51 and the 88 have got him right by, and now it's going to be the 84 of Jorge Canales, the next man up, as every driver now in jeopardy of being put one down by your aces out in front. And how about the battle we're seeing so far between Tom Wetmore and Seth Well? Most drivers are struggling with a lack of grip and these, of course, ever-changing conditions, but the variables are not throwing these two men off as the caution flies for the first time 80 laps in. And we'll find out just why Matt Jonas looks to be involved. We'll take it back 20 seconds, find out just what happened to any of these drivers. As you can see, the 15 right there up high. He might have gotten into the wall. No, he's going to spin nonetheless, though, right into Brad Patton. Multi-car contact. He goes down. He is cleared into pit road, and the yellow flag flies before any more danger could have been brought on to the other drivers. A safety yellow for the number 1 caution on the night, and we will be good to go from here. As you can see, Jonas going to get back on his way, and Wetmore comes around this time by. It's going to be a first lap under yellow for the 51 machine, who leads him through with Seth Well currently in second. Nick Tarbuck going to be in third. Ryan Farrell is in fourth, and now Bobby Ross is in fifth. So every driver getting shaken up just a bit to get this race started. As 10 laps through already, we've gotten some laps down, but our first caution flag flies very early in the going. Now, cautions have been known to breed cautions at Dirt Bristol, be it in the real world or online, so hopefully that will not be the case tonight. We'd, of course, love to see a much longer run than what we saw already, but drivers are still getting acclimated to track surface. They might not be all too familiar to how Dirt Bristol drives, so tonight they're getting a few early laps in to sort of adapt to it, and then they'll go from there, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get that long green flag run. Of course, the top two, Desire and Wetmore and Seth Well, just about top 2 dead even, all run long there. And while it was only 11 laps in distance, these two seem to have some pace that could run all night along. It remains to be seen whether or not either of them will fall off first, but right now they have the field in the palm of their hands as they go through once again 11 laps in. Ryan Farrow getting right there in the number 93 machine. Bobby Ross going to be in the 5th spot, and Trevor Drago is right there in position number 6. Alan Dobbs is going to be 7th on the board thus far. Brad Patton still going to be there inside the top 10 and 8 despite being involved in that incident with Sam Nito 9th and Cody Smith Hence, so everyone getting going here. Kyle Cooper 8 laps down as is. He's now going to be able to get back on his way. Missed the start, but he is racing. So one more driver than what we began this race with. That is great to see. Kyle Cooper makes it in 8 laps down, so he could get a few cautions to swing him in his favor. He still has a chance joining at the right time after a big yellow flag. Randy Fosden right there in the 22nd spot. Majanis back in the lead lap here. He'll be in 21st, so not much loss when it comes to track position. He is still on the lead lap, and if there is any other shock incident, might just have a chance to recover immediately once more. As Wetmore comes around this time by, I do believe we're due to see the 1 lap to green signal as the 51 goes up high, and I do believe that's going to be the number 88 in Seth Wells signaling that he'd like to stay down low. Tarbuck going to be right there with him, and Ryan Farrow chooses up high as Bobby Ross going to be there on the inside of run number 3. And everyone getting going once again. It is already 13 laps through here in Dirt Bristol. This race is due to be one of the fastest all season long. And right now, Seth Well and Tom Wetmore know everything they do means that much more with a shorter distance lap-wise. These two could probably run all race long without having an incident, but the remainder of the field is what they're going to have to worry about when it comes to the attrition of this race. Let's get right into it this time by first restart of the night, led by Wetmore once more with green here in Bristol. And the jump he needs for Tom Wetmore gets right out in front of that Tube Tech number 51 machine. Seth Wells in second, but he's further back than before, and the entire field gonna go 4 wide there. It's gonna be Patton and the Sam Nito machine. And don't count out Tracom Jacob Fife as the 1, 2, 36, 37 combo in numbers go all at it. And now it's gonna be Doorbang in the number 2 and the number 1. It's gonna be Jacob Fife in a bit of trouble that time through. He does save it, and he'll be able to recollect himself and get back onto the preferred groove. You can see it already seems like one groove is already coming into play. Notice how there's a darker strip of dirt compared to the remainder of the track. That's where these drivers want to be, and they could be on the seam of it to try to get a kick off the exit. They could be below it to try to get a nicer ride off the exit, not with the top side momentum. It's a game of balancing, and the balancing act right now ran the best by the 51 as Tom Wetmore still 3/10 up as Alan Dobbs in a bit of trouble that time by. He'll have to let Trevor Trago through at 16 laps through. That number 37 gets him by. He looks to be the big winner for that big battle we've seen just a few laps into this run. And Alan Dobbs, a great one at Iowa. That great run of his to be able to get in the podium on a one-stop strategy in 150 laps, absolutely incredible. Tonight, though, a much different circumstance for him as he sees door banging between Ross Cato and Brad Patton as Jacob Fife gets in the wall as well. He'll have to hang on to not only his strategy when it comes to tires and fuel, which I don't believe will be relevant if we have any more yellows, but in addition, he'll have to hang on to the car, and every driver around him could give him a bit of a rough up. Right now, you're not only racing the track, but you're racing the drivers who think they have the right spot on the track for their car. It's a bit different from choosing the high line, the low line on an asphalt track. This changes every time you take the loop. This circuit, it's going to be shifting, and these drivers will have to go sometimes high, sometimes low, but Tom Wetmore, he knows for sure where he wants to place that number 51. Nick Tarbuck not in frame and goes sideways through the corners as Bobby Ross now losing time major. He'll fall down into 7th. Tarbuck is there inside the top 2 now as Seth Well falls into 3rd, and now Ryan Farrell is on his case. Farrell in the Amico number 93 machine, a beautiful throwback in its own right, and it looks like right now the Ultimate 93 is looking to have the ultimate run for the Ryan Farrell camp. Oh, so close to winning at the Circuit of the Americas, but tonight a much different track compared to the norm. Much like the Circuit of the Americas is, he could be able to adapt once again and find himself a successful run as 21 through, another yellow about 10 laps into the run. Boomer Logan involved this time by. Let's find out just what's happened. And self-explanatory there, Boomer Logan went around, but let's find out what really caused it here. He goes down the back, chasing down Don Stevenson. Logan dives to the inside line, and he just gets caught there on what would be the asphalt apron and goes around. That is a safety yellow. once again, it is going to be out. The caution will fly for the second time here in Bristol, and Boomer is going to be able to get on his way. Just a nice 360, and not nice at all, quite frankly, but we're saying it's nice because no other driver got involved, and quite frankly, it was a good 360 to pick himself back up and get himself back where he wanted to be. So Logan back on the way here in the black cherry number 94, and right now it is still the same leader in Tom Wetmore, 22 laps in out of 125, and it is Wetmore, the top man on the board. It's going to be Nick Tarbuck in third right now, and how about that for the driver in that number 4, seeing the Tom Wetmore dominance thus far. He now finds himself in the catbird seat, and we'll try to ring him up right now and see what he's thinking as the race has only just begun, but certainly every driver beginning to formulate the plot to get themselves into winning contention. So let's ring him up, get a dial in on the man in that number 4 machine, and that's going to be Nick Tarbuck. How you feeling so far, second on the board here in Bristol?
Oh, we're feeling some type of way, man. It's interesting, pretty fun. I mean, not complaining where I'm at, but I'm not sure it's going to last.
Well, it looks like the track doesn't last all too much when it comes to lap-by-lap changes. But right now, your number 4 Chevy Camaro has lasted up in the top 5, qualified 4th, currently in 2nd here. So you're certainly doing something right. Almost a 5th of the way through this one already, and time is flying. What's gotten you up here from the beginning of the race to now?
Well, I just kind of figured last year I was not too bad here, but the track's way different. So I tried to translate some of my stuff from last year, but just really trying to be as careful as possible. I don't want to have anybody around my car, so if I'm getting passed, I'm probably just going to let them pass. But because otherwise, I don't know what to do in that situation. But keep it clean, try my best, and just hope that we can keep it in this spot, maybe one better.
And patience is the key right now. It looks like aggression is not the most important factor here, as we still have quite a lot of time when it comes to the leading battle. So when we go back to it, I think it's going to be 2 to go this time by, but we'll let you go just a bit early. How do you feel about running for the lead this early on, or are there any final thoughts regardless?
I think I will not be in the lead past the start-finish line, or turn 1 or 2. And my final thoughts is have fun watching this, because it's about to be really entertaining.
Well, there we have it. 25 laps through. Tarbuck in 2nd, looking for one more spot at the checkered flags fall. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, man.
And as we get right back into it, Tarbuck going to be back on his way. And now, when he mentions that the track feels an awful lot different, well, iRacing is always changing their dirt formula. As a matter of fact, very recently, they discussed on a podcast that they intend to make a major overhaul to their dirt physics system come the next major update in iRacing, June of 2023. Now, that's a few months away, but it will be still when we're still running this season, so it isn't all too far in the grand scheme of things. We started the season in Daytona about 2 months ago, and June's about 2 months away, so when we get that next big update, expect a much different dirt experience on iRacing, as right now Tom Wetmore loves the one that he has. We'll ride aboard with him for this restart, see how quick he can clear the field. If he does clear the field, certainly has the potential to get it done once again. The last great Coliseum is packed with fans, and tonight Tom Wetmore has his own in the chat. Nancy, thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoy the show as Tom gets ready to lead him through. This time Bike gets a rocket jump, and he's back on his way. Restart number 2 is in effect. And they say a picture can speak 1,000 words. Well, that picture, Tom Wetmore out in front, it shows you that he's got the car to beat right now, and he has put it into motion. It's not just actions. Well, actions do speak louder than words, but the engine, it's speaking in its own right. He's got it all dialed up as it's going to be 3 wide once again. Cody Smith going to be right there with Brad Patton and Jacob Fife. Fife battling throughout the entirety of the field right now in 12th. Yellow flags out once again. We'll find out why. Looks to be Logan. Got a bit squirrely, but I don't believe it. It was Seth Well, and a big-time contender has some big-time chaotic impact on the front end, and we'll find out what happened here. This could be some race-winning implications. Tarbuck gets lost there, and he's going to hit Ryan Farrell, and Seth Well gets it all loosened up, and Jacob Fife sends him right into that pit barrier. Just didn't go the way he wanted there, and Well going to be in trouble. He'll get it back on his way. 29 laps through, and Seth Well going to be in trouble already. Tom Wetmore out in front sees that 2 competitors, 2 contenders, as a matter of fact, have now gotten shaken up real big, as it looks like Tarbuck and Noel get some damage, and Seth Noel absolutely has some big time damage there, as 29 down. The number 4 machine is going to be now down to the back of the field. Nick Tarbuck going to be in the 19th position, does appear to be still on the lead lap without major physical damage to that car, but Seth Noel is going to have to come down pit road and get that thing fixed up. A close-up examination with our drone shot, well, it'll show you the National Guard number 88 is in some big trouble. That front end is all bent in, and it's got a bit on the right side as well, so not much more he can do but wait to get into his pit stall. Dual pit roads here in Bristol tonight, so we'll have to go through both of them to make it in to his. Dad already didn't know which one he had, but he does get back out nonetheless here, and now back on pit road. Seth Noel back out. He'll wait once again to get some repairs, as Tom Wetmore still leads the way with Ryan Farrell machine in second. Sam Nito going to be third. Trevor Trago will be fourth, and Alan Dobbs now rounds out your top 5 as 2 spots given to just about every driver here in the field. Going to be Cody Smith right alongside Ross Cato, then Brad Patton, Jacob Fife, Guillermo Alvarez, and Kevin Matz as they all get this thing rolling. You can see Don Stevenson right there as well in the 47, and Nicholas Ward finally going to be there in the 14th position. As it stands, no retirees. As a matter of fact, we got one more driver in from the moment we began this race. Kyle Cooper, 9 laps down, is racing with us now, even though he did not begin this race on the starting grid. So great to see. We began with 22, and now we have 23 as one more driver shows up just in the nick of time to get into this event, as Cooper looks to be going down pit road this time through, although it looks like that was going to be a bit of a fake out. He'll be sent down to the back of the line, letting drivers like Tarbuck, Bayash, and Noel through to get back racing. And Tom Wetmore still your top man on the board here on the 51. He has had control of this race since the jump, and a quarter of the way through they are now. It looks like that number 51 has yet to be denied. He is your leading man despite all the trials and tribulations so far, and he looks to keep it that way, as no drivers are being able to get close to him besides the first run with Seth Noel. But now it's going to be Ryan Farrell, knowing that it's going to be both Tarbuck and Noel perhaps out of contention all night long. It falls into the 93's hands to try to take on the dominating man in Tom Wetmore, and maybe this time someone will usurp the giant that has been that 51. It could happen now, it could happen later, but now it looks like the 93 put up into the catbird seat for the first time in tonight's show. 3 restarts in about a caution every 10 laps, and tonight it looks like it will be the 93 alongside your post hitter for that 3rd restart. Wetmore goes up high to get a run off the exit, and we will be green once again as the iRacing official pace car dives in. Going to be the 3rd restart tonight, led by Tom Wetmore. We're back underway. And Wetmore gets through with another amazing start. Look at that. Ryan Farrell far out of frame. He keeps it going, but Trevor Trago going to be there side by side with Alan Dobbs. Right on board with the man in that number 05 machine, and you will see the action. It is close all throughout the track. These guys get a bit squirrely on the sideways, of course, portions of the track, the turns and the straights, as one man, and Guillermo Alvarez, looks to be all the way down to what would be the apron there. It's going to be Alan Dobbs giving us a great show of the field. Sideways, one goes, Boomer Logan goes, we will have a yellow again. It's going to be Tarbuck and Boomer Logan, and there it flies. 35 laps in, it was seen on that onboard. Tarbuck gets involved once more, and this time it was with a 94 of Boomer Logan. Let's find out what in specific just happened. As the 4 machine goes up high, he's there. Logan gets loose, and he gets into the 4, gets into Nicholas Ward, and this time Tarbuck suffers the same fate as Seth Noel, both barrel in to that pit road tire barrier, and that time by the 4 machine gets the worst of it. Logan can get bailed just a bit, but the same front end damage is present on the Tarbuck machine that is on Seth Wells, number 88. And from here on out, you just gotta live with it as a driver to try to keep it on going, as right now Noel has made up just a few spots, mostly in part due to that most recent wreck. Boomer Logan going to be in 16th though, as Noel goes down pit road once again. 37 laps through nonetheless, and Tom Wetmore is your leading man here in Bristol. It's going to be the Amoco 93 of Ryan Farrell there in second, and then Sam Nito in third. 37 laps through, and time is indeed flying as the Nito machine finds himself on the podium. How we get a word with the man in that third spot right now. Certainly a lot to say for someone running that close to the front of the field. The Shelby Cobra number through. If it's going to be the number 2 who's going through the field and now finds himself there in the third position. Sam Needle right now getting third on the board here in Dirt Bristol. How's the car been feeling almost a third of the way through here tonight?
That's a little slick.
And it seems like it's been a challenge for almost every driver right now here in Dirt Bristol. The track conditions are changing, lines are developing. What's been the key to your success so far to driving this far up?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't race dirt. I don't have any idea what I'm doing out here. I'm just avoiding people and trying to keep it sideways, straightish, if that makes sense. So I honestly have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, at the moment, it seems to be working despite just that. Now, strategy might be coming into play soon as we're getting closer to the halfway mark. Is there any indication you'll have to come down for tires of fuel all night long?
No, we're not going to have to pit. I think the only people you'll see pitting are people that are in the back or people getting damage fixed. So, yeah, there's going to be no need to pit.
Well, there we have it. Going to be all the way about where you can get it on track position. Right now, you have an awful lot of it. How aggressive will you be on this restart?
I won't be aggressive this whole race. I don't want to wreck anybody. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing out here. I know that the track feels good right now, but here in 50 laps, the whole track's just going to be garbage. It's going to be hard. Passing's going to be hard. You know, just not self-spinning is going to be hard. So what you're seeing right now is not what you're going to be seeing here in about 50 laps.
Well, there we have it. Expecting change. Sam Neal is third on the board so far. Going to be 1 lap to green this time, I believe. So any final thoughts?
Nope. Just hope I don't wreck anybody. Hopefully I can go green here.
Well, there we have it. Sam Neal hoping to keep it green right now, just inside the top 3. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it. Needle going to be back on the way there as it's going to be Wetmore up high once more. And now Ryan Farrell down low with a new set of faces in that second row. Trevor Trago now going to be up high. And it'll be Sam Needle on the bottom. Let's get right into it once again. 40 laps in out of 125. And time is indeed flying here in the Integrity Octane Series. Dirt Bristol getting to be a bit of a chaotic night. Let's see what he can do. Tom Wetmore once again looking for a magic start. Restart number 4 it will be. And he'll lead him off once again. Let's get right into it here and now. Green flag going to be out once again. And he's going to be out of frame compared to every other driver. Now it's going to be Ryan Farrell there in second. Trevor Traeger going to be 3 wide with Alan Dobbs and the Sam Needle machine. Needle gets split 3 middle, and every driver going to get back on their way. As you can see, one going to be getting sliced and diced at Trago, and they will go around once again. That's going to be a caution, a big one, as the good majority of the field gets caught up. Tarbuck right there. Trago, Ross Cato, and everyone goes down around. And we'll find out what happened. It's going to be a yellow flag with multiple drivers involved. We'll get an instant replay on the matter. As you can see, the 37 of Trago dove it in on Alan Dobbs there, and Dobbs taps him on the quarter panel and takes him all the way around. Goes up high, collects Nito, then gets into Bobby Ross, gets to the Brad Patton quarter panel, taps him, and almost gets into Guillermo Alvarez. Kevin Matz avoids it barely. Joe Yakes goes up high. Boomer Logan goes down low. Then Tarbuck gets there, and Seth Well might have gotten the top as Kyle Cooper and Jay Haishman and Nicholas Ward were just a bit too late to get involved. And thankfully for their sake, they did avoid it. 43 laps in, though, it looks to be going good for Tom Wetmore as the next level racing that he's been able to put on is second to none, as nextlevelracing.com has high quality sim racing performance products, dedicated sim racers. Well, quite frankly, there's nothing but the best provided by Next Level Racing since 2009. And how about this? Well, a word about their new partnership, officially licensed Ferrari products designed especially for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. Be sure to visit nextlevelracing.com, a proud supporter of the Integrity Racing League, live on FDM. We will be right back as we are under our 5th yellow of the night. will be your first Next Level Racing promotional break of the night. Once again, for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best, visit nextlevelracing.com. Since 2009, the highest quality sim racing performance products. For more information, their website is, of course, mentioned every broadcast, nextlevelracing.com. And right now, at 45 laps on the books, Tom Wetmore has been nothing short of a next level racer in his own right. He's led the field all the way thus far, as we still have quite a lot of time going into it. It will be one lap to green this time through. It looks like it will be single file restarts here, and that means that every driver will just have to keep it going from the high side. Now, this is the way it goes after a certain amount of cautions. I believe it will be 4. That leads us into our 5th with single file restarts. Single file will be the way to go for the remainder of the night as an approach to get fewer cautions and less wrecking overall. Now, Dirt Bristol proving to be the challenge that we anticipated, as most drivers have not been able to stand up to the test quite well, but one man has, of course, been on fire. Ryan Farrell now going to be on the same line as Wetmore by force. Can he use it to his advantage? Let's find out this time by restart number 5. Wetmore gets the jump once more, but it's more dead even as every driver goes down at the same pace. And this change going to be major, as Wetmore now not going to be too far ahead of Ryan Farrell, only a 0.3 of a second gap, and we could get a long run as a result of this change. Joe Yates going to be there with Bobby Ross side by side. They're going to go teammates for Indy Autosport here. They'll be right next to one another as Seth Well tries to make it happen. Yellow flag still appears to be out on the ticker. Is that the case? That it looks like it is. Let's find out just why. It looks to be involved Trevor Trago. It looks like a lot of guys in the back getting caught up in this one. 48 laps in, the yellow flag falls immediately. Let's find out just what happened. Boomer Logan going to get involved once again, and Logan having an awful lot of trouble keeping that car under control. Let's find out why the 94 machine went around this time by. The green flag fell. He was behind Haishman, behind Thiash. He might have gone for a lunge very early into the run. That it looks like he might have, as it's going to be Thiash who slows down and tags Boomer Logan. And this time by Logan, not the cause, but he does get involved as the yellow flag falls immediately after the run begins. So 49 going to become 50 laps here out of 125, and Wetmore is still your race leader here in Bristol, and the 51 far from relinquishing that control. He's at it so far as a few drivers come down pit road, coming in for damage repair, primarily as it seems like it's going to be Ryan Farrell, Matt Jonas, and then Ross Cato trying some stuff out here, as the race still has an awful lot of time within it for guys to get a bit more experimental with their strategy. Cato gets back on the way here. Matt Jonas going to stay, and so is, well, not Ryan Farrell. Farrell gets on the move right behind Ross Kittle, and Randy Fiash is still going to be on the lead lap. Only 2 drivers off it so far, and Kyle Cooper and Matt Jonas. Cooper 8 laps down as we speak, 50 laps through. And with early dominance, Tom Wetmore has not had to deal with a green flag run longer than 10 laps so far in our 6th yellow of the night. And with all this time under yellow, a lot of downtime to strategize what needs to be done inside the number 51. Let's get a cockpit view right now, see what's going on as the 51 keeps it calm and collected. Not major handwork inside that Chevy Camaro. He knows he's doing what he needs to do to get that successful finish at the end of the day. He's been in first all night long and is only about 10 laps adrift from locking in that most laps led bonus here, as we are still under yellow. Jacob Fife been up and down throughout the field. You saw him in about 14th spot last time we checked on him specifically, but now look at this. He's in position number 4. Fife is on the move, and the Triple P Pro Powder and Paint Machine is right there for the taking and might just have a chance at an underdog victory here. Of course, it looks like Wetmore will have to be the man you take over if you want a victory. That checkered flag, well, he has been on top of it all night long. He's been on the ground for success, and no other driver has had that room throughout the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. As they come to the stripe this time by, going to be Tom Wetmore leading them down once again. Alan Dobbs there in second, with Jacob Fife in 4th, as Cody Smith is indeed in 3rd. Going to be 1 lap to green, single file restart once again, as Wetmore has full control now, and he only has to block 1 lane and 1 driver, specifically being Alan Dobbs. Now, Dobbs got in a close dogfight for the victory last time we went racing on Monday night in the Ignite Series, and it got down to the wire there. Unfortunately for his case, involved in what could have been a wreck. It was an incident, but it was quite dicey racing. He's used to those close encounters, and it could come to his advantage as we go back green once again. Let's get right into it this time by. It's going to be Wetmore there, Alan Dobbs in second, Cody Smith in third, green flags out, restart number 6. And Wetmore back on the move. Seems like time and time again he makes that start happen. And no other driver has it quite like Wetmore. Looking further back, going to be side by side there from second. They're getting real close to the middle of the field once again. Get him Nick Tarbuck diving down to the inside line. He's making up spots and making them up quick. Right on board that number 4 machine as we take a shot on the hood camera. They'll find out what's going on for the series' hardest charging driver here in Dirt Bristol. Now right behind the Seth Dwell machine. Dwell is going to be 9th and Tarbuck is going to be in 10th as they go down the back. Bobby Ross stands between the old victory hopefuls as they look to be able to fight despite the damage. And aerodynamics of a track like Dirt Bristol don't matter as much. We've seen some messed up cars come to the checkered flag before in the real NASCAR Cup Series. And with these NASCAR Cup Series machines on iRacing as realistic as they can get, sometimes you benefit from these races of attrition even if you get caught up in them. Now Tarbuck finds himself in the 9th position. Seth Dwell going to still be there in 8th. Look back from his perspective, he's certainly got an awful lot of cars behind him, but right now every driver looks to be spread out, give or take 1 or 2 that are still battling double file. Trago going to be right there with Bobby Ross. Trevor looking to get in the top 10 this time by. Does he have an opportunity? Yes, he does. Does he take it? We'll find out. He goes down on the inside line there on Bobby, and it looks like he has an edge. Does he have it clear? This time out of the front stretch, it's going to be the number 37 machine who takes it into turns 1 and 2 with that advantage, and advantageous indeed. He'll be there in 10th at the moment. Going to be Jay Haishman in a little bit of trouble this time by. He comes down pit road as a matter of fact, and going to be Randy Fash, who is right there with them. Nicholas Ward disconnects from the session. Not sure whether or not he came down pit road or not. We'll find out if that was a hardware failure. This is an instant replay on the 97, and we've seen him disconnect spontaneously like this before. Yellow flags out, 58 laps in, and this just might be your stage break. Nicholas Ward looked to have disconnected without an incident here. Not good to see at all, as now Trevor Trago still there in 10th. It's going to be the Amoco 93 of Ryan Farrell who slipped around. This is a replay of what could have caused her yellow, and it looks like it was Nicholas Ward. He came right back on there, and that was a netcode incident, and Boomer Logan gets caught up once again. Now Nicholas Ward on our end was not on the screen. There's only 22 drivers still racing. Jonas has disconnected, but he disconnected on our end. That might have been the same for every other driver. The 97 goes down and around as we come to the halfway point under yellow here. 125 laps, lap 62 expected to be hit before we get back under green for restart number 7 here in the Integrity Octane Series. And Tom Wetmore has held them all off down to the halfway point. Dobbs there in 2nd, Cody Smith in 4th, Jacob Fife is in 5th, and the number 36 machine, Jacob Fife, having a very strong run here in that number 36. And how about that for Pro Powder and Paint's number 36 entry? They're a 2-car team. Jim Fife part-time, but Jacob Fife is full-time, and right now he is tackling one of the trickiest tracks on the schedule with ease. Let's get a word with a man in that number 36. Jacob Fife will drag him down right now, getting him inside the voice chat here in the number 36 machine of Jacob Fife inside the top 5 so far in a very tricky race here at Dirt Bristol. Just about halfway through, what's been your key to success navigating the last great Coliseum?
That's a really good question. Not getting into too much trouble, which might be famous last words, but I mean, we've avoided the wreck so far. It's really slick, so it's hard to kind of, I would like to be on the bottom, but I just don't think that's a good option anymore. There's no grip down there. So, yeah, just trying to stay out of the trouble is going to be the biggest thing for the rest of the night.
And the track developing where one line is indeed dominant. Now, we heard from a few other drivers in our interviews already that it might become a bit harder to pass. So what's that going to mean for you on your charge up to the top 3, perhaps the victory?
Yeah, I mean, really, in all sincerity, it really is just going to be about, I'm not even worried about passing at this point. I think it's literally other people's mistakes is how I'm going to gain positions and me not making mistakes. I think anytime you try to, try too hard in passing here, I don't think hardly any of us, Tom's obviously doing a great job out front so far, but most everybody else here are mostly asphalt guys, so we're not used to this. It's a unique situation, so I think I really just have to capitalize on other people's mistakes to keep moving forward, and hopefully I don't make as many.
And that seems to be the way to go here, as we're going to get ready to get at it once again. Now, single file restarts, so every driver on a level playing field coming down to the green flag. Any final thoughts before we get back going with the second half of this race?
No, just as usual, I want to thank you guys for broadcasting, and thanks to our partners, Pro Powder Paint, on the car tonight, and Next Level Racing for giving us the opportunity to race here.
And there we have it. Once again, Jacob Fife up in front, fifth at the moment here as we come to our 7th restart. Thank you for your time.
See you, man.
And Fife's going to be back on his way here as we get it rolling once again. 63 laps to go, so we have hit that halfway mark under yellow, and it's going to be 63 laps remaining as we are at lap 63 indeed. The man who's led every one of which, Tom Wetmore, still has control in position number 1. Can he control them all the way again? Well, let's find out as they come down to the stripe. Here and now, it's going to be the green flag lap of the 51, and it's going to be Alan Dobbs there in tow. We're back on the way here from Bristol. And Wetmore seems to be able to do it once again. No man's been on top of him, and no man's had himself on top of Bristol, quite like Tom Wetmore. Looking back in the middle of the field, and once again, Brad Patton battling deep. It's going to be Boomer Logan, not there, but it's going to be Seth Well in the 88, getting nudged up. 3 wide they are, and they'll be down to the front stretch in the same fashion. Who's going to give it? Looks like Well gives just a bit, but Trevor Trago, relentless on the inside line, wants to make it happen. Guillermo Alvarez gets to the high side there, and looks like his aggression has a bit of a cost to it as they come down and in once again up high. The number 37 goes. Seth Will able to steal a show and get back up to the 7th. Right now, Brad Patton holds on in 6th. The top 5 has stayed stable as they come through once again. Now every driver seems to be getting into that cloud of orange smoke time after time, and the dirt balls are beginning to become quite an obstruction of vision for these guys. Randy Fires in a bit of trouble that time through. Joe Yates right now is 16th, a bit off the pace in his own right now, and it's going to be Trevor Trago way off the pace. He looks to be going out of the apron. Does he save it? According to our analytics, it does look like we will still be able to go green, but Trago in some big trouble, and we did not get a clear view of that, but he's going to come up the track into Joe Yates. They're almost contact. Let's find out what happened here. Trago went down to the inside line, and he looked to be all out of sort. It's going to be Tarbuck who gives him a send down, and that 37 almost came up the track immediately thereafter, but the 37 is still racing, and we will not go to a yellow. Once again, able to save it and keep it going. Trevor Trago, admirable effort there as he gets it back on his way. Good to Ross Cato in that number 12 machine in the 14th spot, battling side by side with Kevin Matz. Take it up to our far drone shot here. That number 50 machine getting closer and closer to this battle just in front of him. He goes up high. The high line is developing to be one of the best here in Bristol. And right now, that push off of the corner does not help him as Ryan Farrow comes right up in the frame. And up high, the number 93 is as well. And you can see battling as hard as he can to keep it in front of the number 2 machine and the number 12 as well. As right now, Ryan Farrell now has that edge in this battle. We're watching Jacob Fife, though, falls back in a 9th, and he's involved in quite the shuffle in his own. You can see Nick Tarbuck now in 5th. Seth Well is in 7th, and the drivers who were hopefuls very early on are coming back with a vengeance here. You know, they want to win more than anything, and this could be their chance to get back in it. Down to the inside, it's going to be Seth Well trying to make it happen to Brad Patton. That he does not, and he's going to have to consolidate and concede. He'll go down, and he's got to believe he wants anything to do with it. He does have a nose in for just a moment, but Brad Patton still covers him off, not for long, and that defense turns into some offense for the number 88. Now he has that edge, and Patton gonna lose it right in front of Bobby Ross, and that's gonna bring out a yellow flag indeed. 54 to go, unless they keep it straight, which it looks like they do. The yellow flag is due to fly, and it looks like they might have just hit their limit. Quite frankly, we're still going. 53 laps to go, and Brad Patton goes all the way around and then some, and we don't have a caution to show for. Let's get an instant replay. My, oh my, and that already shows the wreck, but let's see what caused it here. There's a cause to every effect and an effect to every cause here. As you can see, Patton gets it slideways, trying to defend on Seth Well. He hits then Bobby Ross, gets into Fife, gets into Alvarez, but it looks like everyone's able to straighten it out, and they just say, to hell with it, let's keep racing, and that's indeed what they're doing. Patton keeps it over the high side, and Jacob Fife keeps battling in there on the inside. They keep it going. Nice to see that they're showing some grit and determination, as this race is far from over for any of them. Tom Wetmore sees there's going to be yellow flag this time through. It's going to be Kevin Matson. That's going to be something you just can't avoid. 75 laps in, 51 laps to go, and Kevin Matz goes for a big spin. Let's find out just what happened. And the instant replay on the map are going to show he gets into Trevor Trago there. Then Kyle Cooper gets into him, and he goes down and around. Then Nicholas Ward hits him, and so does Joe Yakes. Looks like almost everyone gets a piece of him. It looks like Jorge Canales almost does as well, but thankfully that he did not. So 51 to do it, and Kevin Matz has it going. Unbelievable that was. It was thankfully first and avoided yellow with Brad Patton, but now it's up to no good for some drivers, as we only have one retiree, but certainly a lot of drivers affected in wrecks. Make it 50 laps to go. 15 going to be quite a while. We are at that 50 mark, as the number 51 of Tom Wetmore has led just about every one of which. Let's try to get a word with yet another driver here. How about Cody Smith? He's in fourth as it stands. We'll try to get him in for just a bit of a chat here, as most of these drivers have stayed up front. Well, the ones that are up front, we've gotten words with. Maybe we can get one more for the man in that number 18. Cody Smith now looking to be in control of his own destiny in that number 18 machine. Let's drag him in just a second. We are right there with them, and it is the number 18 machine of Cody Smith in fourth for Next Level Racing. How's it been here in Bristol?
It's been a lot of fun. This is difficult. Again, something new that we don't do too often, and just try to embrace it and try to keep it heading forward. That's the goal here.
And that, it appears to be able to do that quite well up inside that top five now. It's been quite a race of attrition here, though we don't have too many retirees. A lot of drivers with a lot of damage. Looks like your nose is clean, besides the dirt for the most part. What's it going to take to keep you up front?
Yeah, more missing these wrecks. I'm glad I'm up here. Started in the middle, well, towards the back pretty much. Kind of dodged the wrecks up through. Made a few passes. Tom and Seth seem to be the two fastest cars here. So if we can somehow keep up with them, I think we'll be in a good spot at the end.
And it looks like so far no battle for the victory just yet, but time is still ticking down, and there's still going to be just enough to see perhaps someone rise to the occasion and give a battle to Tom Wetmore. You think he'll be that guy?
I mean, I hope so. It's a track position game. It's hard to pass. Sam's not. He's pretty good too. Tom just seemed to be like a couple tenths faster than everybody there that run at least. So he's really fast. So we'll see what happens. Sometimes you can get a little lucky. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, maybe.
And that it might just be looking to get some luck here in the last great Coliseum. Cody Smith, any final thoughts before we get going next time by?
No, just thanks for coming out. Thanks for all you do for the league. Thanks for Next Level Racing. Yeah, enjoy the show.
And there we have it. Cody Smith going to be back on the way in that number 18, just inside the top 5. Thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you, Dave.
And letting Cody back on his way. He's right there behind the good majority of the field when it comes to those guys in the top 5. It is now Tom Wetmore, your leader, with 47 to do with, and Sam Nito in second, Alan Dobbs in third, and Cody Smith in fourth. These drivers up front know for sure what they are doing. Quite frankly, Tom Wetmore might know it the most because he's had it all quite well planned out. That number 51, and with 46 laps to go, has led every lap in this race. No hesitation for him. He's had it from the jump in qualifying, and there is no other driver on his level. Stephenwell got close early. Tarbuck battled with them as well. Ryan Farrell was up in the catbird seat. Alan Dobbs, and now Sam Nito is as well, as we get into this time by for 45 laps to go. Can someone try to usurp of course, the dominating driver in this race? Let's see, as it's going to be another amazing start for the 51. And one man going to be down on the inside of the track. That's going to be Nicholas Ward. Not sure what the case is for him there, as every driver gets it going. Jay Haishman, 2 down, is there. It's going to be Randy Fiash in the mix. Jorge Canales there with Kevin Matz. And so is Don Stevenson as everyone gets it in the mix. It's going to be Alan Dobbs almost out of control there. And that number 05 machine sees himself almost out. He is still going, but now he is riding that wall and not at all to gain spots. He looks to be on the downward swing as he gets contact there with Nick Tarbuck, and he certainly is in a load of trouble. Cody Smith gets caught up right there with him. Guillermo Alvarez makes some contact. They go door banging though, side by side. They are still keeping it straight. 43 laps to go, but it's getting dicier and dicier as it goes on. One up high, and it's going to be the number 18. Once again, Alan Dobbs gets right into Bobby Ross there, getting real close to each other as Jacob Fife goes down to the inside line to make that late lunge. Brad Patton has to check up just a bit. Let's ride aboard Brad Patton. He's in the thick of this heated up battle. And the heat is on for the number 1 machine as the sun is setting. Slowly but surely, it's going to be out of play. The rear view mirror, it is filled as 2 drivers go around. That's going to be yellow flag with 42 laps to go. And you saw it in front of that number 1 machine. Kevin Matz right there. Alan Dobbs, though, with Bobby Ross go around at the same time. And let's find out just what happened now. Bobby Ross looks to have been behind Alan Dobbs, but Dobbs was like a dart without feathers in this run. And he comes down into that Bobby Ross machine. Cody Smith gets lucky, makes a minor bit of contact, but nothing too major. He'll be able to keep going without much a problem. Dobbs get on the rear end of that tire barrier. Both drivers hit that tire barrier, and while they get it going, not without some damage, as this self-cleaning track dirt Bristol appears to be, takes yet another driver in. With 41 laps to go, it's been a next level night for Tom Wetmore, and once again, Next Level Racing, high-quality sim racing performance products for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. We'll be right back from our second Next Level Racing promotional break in just a moment as we are under yellow for what I believe is going to be the 9th time tonight. 40 laps remaining. Time is still not out, but it is running out for any driver to catch up. The great Tom Wetmore looking for win number 3 of the season. And that will be your second Next Level Racing promotional rig. Tom Wetmore, still your leading man. 39 laps remaining. That number 51 machine can do no wrong here in Dirt Bristol. He has been indomitable tonight. And that number 2 machine is now driven, of course, in position number 2. Sam Nito right there in the catbird seat. But take a look at who's now in that podium. Seth Wells in 3rd and Nick Tarbuck is in 4th. And the boys are back in town for those number 88 and 4 machines. They've been waiting quite a while to have a chance. And they're looking to take a chance on themselves and get back in to perhaps victory lane. Tarbuck looking for his first win this season. Of course, we mentioned that before. Out of all the drivers in the championship standings, he's the highest up without a victory thus far. And Seth Well has 1 win on the season, looking for 2. Wetmore, the dominator so far with 2 wins, is looking for his 3rd. And you can see the Octane point standings are on your screen right now. And Tom Wetmore, top man on the board. Then Caitlin Haight, she's going to be in 2nd. Seth Wells already locked in, and so is Cody Smith, Cody Griffin, and Sam Nito, as Tarbuck, Fife, Stevenson, and Brad Patton all come in, this time through as drivers above the bubble. Ross Cato and Chris Schessler came in dead even, but Schessler is not here tonight. Expect him to drop down further as the restart going to come through this time by Wetmore down on the inside, getting ready to get going once more, as we can see the next level drive that he's had all night long is far from over. He has to finish this one off just to get the credit. It's not about where you start, it's about where you finish, and right now Wetmore looks to finish position number 1. Back through the gears once again. The 51 has control. The green flag's going to fly this time through, led by Tom Wetmore. And Tom gets through once again. You can see that Sam Nino far out of frame there. Seth Well going to be in third. And these top three guys are single file to double file action. Going to be there in the back in the thick of the moment. Getting Randy Fiash almost side by side with now Boomer Logan. Logan goes down to the inside line looking to avoid an incident. This time through that he does. Good to see as everyone kept it clean except for Tarbuck. And Nick Tarbuck from the front of the field once again and falls in an incident. The yellow flag will fly once more. Let's find out what happened. It looks like Tarbuck just got way too deep into it. Then Guillermo Alvarez hits him, drives him down. Brad Patton gets involved. Patton cuts right in. And then one more hit. It looked to be Bobby Ross. No, Ross saves himself by going down to the inside, but certainly not what Nick Tarbuck wants. And just when everything looked to be going good for him, the sailing is no longer smooth, and he will be back in the 16th position. After all the gains he made, he's lost it all, and then some, as he falls back to position number 16. Tom Whitmore, top man on the board right now. It's Sam Nito there in second. Seth Well going to be third, and Jacob Fife will be fourth, as Cody Smith is in fifth. Guillermo Alvarez going to be there in sixth, and then Ryan Farrell's in seventh, as Trevor Trago and Brad Patton are eighth, ninth. Ross Cato rounds out your top 10 in position number 10 for Ford. In itself, the manufacturer car looks to be represented by Ross Cato here as he has the racing stripes right on the hood, getting ready to race once again. 33 laps to go here, and Wetmore has led every one of which round 9 from Dirt Bristol has seen one man as a dominating driver, and that is who else but Tom Wetmore. And looking for just a bit more, that driver the 51 machine is. He's looking to get that perfect race going, winning, of course, the pole position, leading a lap, leading every lap, looking for what is considered Grand Slam in racing. And of course, that checkered flag is the cherry on the top to getting this win. He's had it in control all night long. No driver has him on those late race jumps. When the restarts get going, he gets about a tenth or two just like that. The closest the remainder of the field has been all night long to Wetmore is under yellow, and otherwise it just can't be beat. That number 51 machine, and with 32 to do it, he looks to be set on yet another crash course to the lead. Once again, 32 laps to do it, and round 9 has been all his so far. 94 laps through. Take a look throughout the field of Trevor Trago having a strong run here in 8th, ups and downs with some incidents, and might not be the cleanest car, but Trevor Trago in that 37 has buffed it all out, and he is still going just like that. Brad Patton's been involved with quite a bit as well. He's right behind Trago right now in frame, but these two are still kicking like it's nothing. Now it's going to be Trago going on the inside line, almost delegating himself there, but it will not be a double file restart. It will be single file, and it will be just about next time through. As 31 laps to do it, the sun is all but set already, and this looks to be a day-to-night event as the number 51 is right there, and it is clear as day who's been your leader, as Sam Nito is still in second, but Seth Well now might have a chance better than ever before to get back inside the top 2 and battle for the win all over again. And despite the damage, as we mentioned, aerodynamics sometimes do not matter at certain tracks, and Dirt Bristol might just be one of which. The air being circulated quite a bit differently might actually be an advantage in some sort, as right now Noel taking it all in stride, knowing that what he has, what he's going to have for the remainder of the race, if it gets any better, well, that would be great, but it's more than likely perhaps going to get worse. He just has to continue to adapt as the night light is in effect. Artificial stadium lights are going to be seen throughout Bristol here as the shadows begin to pop up on drivers' cars. It's going to be Tom Wetmore, though, leading them down as the sun sets. He will try to put the sunset on 8 other drivers' hopes, as with 30 laps to go, we'll go green with 29 to do it. The green flag going to fly once again for restart number 10. Let's get back into it once more here in Bristol. And the 51 flies out in front once again. What he needs, he gets it. It's going to be Ryan Farrell there side by side. Cody Smith in the mix. Going to be Jacob Fife right there in tow. Sam Nito going to be there with Seth Well. How about that? Guillermo Alvarez is in 6th. And they all slice and dice as one goes down the inside line. And he's going to try to make it a nice pass. The 93 of Ryan Farrell now has it on Guillermo Alvarez as he look to get it on Cody Smith. That he does. 28 to do it. Can he make it happen? I'm not sure. No! Caution's going to fly. Alvarez to Cato and to Don Stevenson as well. And the yellow flag is out for a multi-car incident Once again, let's find out what happened. Ross Cato was involved in this one, that's for sure. And this we saw already, but we can certainly see the 12 machine came into frame. Alvarez comes into Patton. Then Alvarez gets hit by Ross Cato, and he comes down to Don Stevenson. Alan Dobbs gets damaged, and that will give us yet another yellow on the night. 99 laps in, and Tom Wetmore is still your leader. Seth Noel is in second. So how do we dial up the man in position number 2? Surely something going on there, as he's kept himself up in front despite some ups and some downs. Seth Noel, as it stands under yellow, you are in the second position. How you feeling throughout?
Terrible.
Well, how about that? But a tricky race for every driver here, but how's it been from your end, besides, of course, a brief explanation?
Terrible. Just ugly. This is probably one of the top 3 or 4 worst tracks for me. We've already gone to one of them with Gateway, and you add this one, and we're just happy to be second, in all honesty. Hopefully we can maybe make a shot at Tom, but with how many laps we've been going green, that's probably not going to happen.
And with the laps winding down, might be able to come home with a solid finish here, but how likely will that be, as it's been a lot of short sprints getting us through the race?
Really depends on restarts. And if we keep up with Tom, we have a pretty good shot at second. Like, I mean, if we allow Sam to kind of take control on body position over us, then we'll be a little bit more sketched out, but kind of controlling our own destiny.
But that, it appears to be all in the control of the driver now. One thing that it has, of course, no control from the drivers, it is going to be the sun that is setting. Almost looks like it's going to be a night race by the time we hit the checkered flag here. Has that been affecting track conditions at all?
No. Still slick track. They didn't add water to the track, so it's still slick.
There we have it. Still slick here in Bristol. We're going to be getting going very soon, but with 25 laps to do, any final thoughts?
Hopefully we win.
Well, there we have it, looking for the victory. Seth well there in the catbird seat as we will come to yet another restart on the night. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
And there we have it. Noel going to be back on his way. 24 laps to get it done. It looks like we will be going green with 23 laps to do it. Tom Wetmore still going to be out in front. 102 laps led for him tonight, and 102 laps completed. It has been nothing short of dominance all night long, and he's close to sealing the deal without much of a fanfare right behind him. He will have, of course, one race to remember, but most drivers looking for something a bit better tonight, quite frankly, as it's been ups and downs for every driver. Patton, involved that most recent incident, is still there in the 7th spot. Ryan Farrell right there in 6th, and drivers with some beat-up cars, they're still holding on strong. Well, one of which with quite a lot of damage on that number 88 machine. Sam Nito has been caught up in a few himself, but Tom Wetmore's kept the nose clean all night long, and he's not had to worry about anything despite, of course, his own pace. And with 23 laps to go, becoming 22, you know what that means. On this restart, we're going to be able to crank it up, courtesy of Track Cams for Gormans and TrackCams22.com. The best cameras on iRacing. We hope you enjoy them as much as we enjoy using them. Let's get it cranked up this time led by that number 51 machine. Tom Wetmore going to get revved up once again. He's revving it big, and we'll be able to crank it up live on FTN, and we will be right back as the 22 to go crank it up is brought to you by TrackCams22.com. And as the yellow flag falls, that might just be it for the night on our Crank It Up just like that. Now, looks like Guillermo Albert is involved in an incident. Let's find out just what happened here as 20 laps to do it. One goes up high. That's Jay Haishman who gets involved big, and he's the cause of that wreck, that's for sure. Now, let's find out just what caused it for him to go around before hitting drivers such as Alvarez. The 06 gets involved big. Looks like he might have lost it there off the backstretch. Very loose. tries to keep it going, goes up high, then puts a bit more power into it than he likes, and that's what causes him to spin out, gets to the Nicholas Ward, almost collects Don Stevenson, Kyle Cooper gets through, and that will be all she wrote for some. Joe Yates a retiree now, some drivers as far as 18 laps down as is, and Jay Hishman caught up, still on the lead lap though, with 19 more to do it. Tom Wetmore still out in front, and how about this? As Cody Smith gets there in 5th, Brad Patton is in 6th, and how about a drive we haven't caught a word with all night long with 19 more to do it. Trevor Trago having one great race on his end. That number 37 machine has been able to hold on in the top 10 all night long. Now we'll get him in here and now. Trevor Trago as it stands inside the top 10 with less than 20 to go. How do you feel after, of course, the good majority of this race?
Not that great, honestly. We were running P2, P3, and we just get absolutely killed by someone. And we're just trying to make our way back.
And making your way back now has, of course, some pace despite some damage here. How big has the damage been, of course, in your way right back?
We have about 2 minutes of damage, and I haven't gotten any of it fixed. I feel like I could still rotate bottom pretty well and can be faster than these guys. It's just a matter of if we get a long enough run where I can actually make passes or not.
We're looking for that long run as well. With 18 laps to do it, a short distance regardless. Do you expect to have a few more chances at passes?
Yeah, hopefully. I have a bad feeling about turn 1 here, though, but we'll see what happens.
And that we will. Only a few laps until we get it back underway. So Trevor Trago, when it comes to strategy, any final thoughts on that?
Just keep it clean and just avoid the wrecks if they're in front of me.
And there we have it. Looking to keep it clean. The number 37 is indeed, as time running out, looking for a few more spots. Trevor Trago, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And Trago going to be back on his way in that number 37. 17 laps to get it done, and Tom Wetmore set to lead them through on a restart once again, and it will be 15 laps to go when we go green at the earliest. Now that shows you how much time we've had under yellow here. These drivers getting ready to do it once again, and it's the 51 rounds, the final turn. It will be 1 lap to green next time by, and that is going to be now the iRacing official pace car ready to lead them in a lap 110 out of 125. It is all about Tom Wetmore here and now up in front. How far will we go until perhaps the final yellow? That remains to be seen, as it's going to be Wetmore down to the inside line, getting himself warmed up one more time. Let's get it with this time through. It will be the 51 there with the 88 up high. Tom going to be able to go. Let's see if we can hold on to that victory here as the green flag will fly once again. Let's get to it one more time. Wetmore leads with Setwell there in second. The green flag will fall with 15 laps to go here in Bristol. And my oh my, Tom Wetmore does it again. It's like clockwork for him. The remainder of the field, though, is still going to be shoveling it up big time. Sam Nito up high there. You could see it's going to be Alan Dobbs right there with him as well. And it's going to be every driver slipping and sliding all the way around. And we try to get a further on view of it. The drone shot here going to show that quite a lot's going on. It's going to be one man who gets an awful lot of trouble in Trevor Trago. They go 3 wide there with Cody Smith, Sam Nito, Brad Patton there as well. Take a look at this. Getting a closer up shot. Ryan Farrell coming through. He's got Sam Nito right there with him. And he goes down to the inside line with Jacob Fife right beside him. No contact just yet. They get oh so close, but no cigar as the 93 keeps it going. He's going to be able to hold on, but only just. And that number 93 Amico machine now sees Nito up to the high side, and Jacob Fife almost loses it, but not enough. He keeps it going. Thankfully, he was able to do so, and now it's going to be Ryan Farrell trying to chase down Fife for one more spot. Farrell as is in that 5th spot, and Jacob Fife is in 4th as they round the turn once again, make it a dozen here in Bristol. And with 12 laps remaining, Alan Dobbs going to be in a big amount of trouble there. He's going to be able to save it. Thankfully, he was able to do just that. Nick Tarbuck gets it through, and the racing persists as the middle of the pack now getting more and more spaced out. Guillermo Ramirez down on pit road. Randy Feisch, the last man on the lead lap, make it 17 drivers there as Jay Hishman holds it on out in front of Kyle Cooper. The back of the field still driving as hard as they can, muzzling it through. Kevin Matz goes down to the inside. Is that going to be a yellow? Single car comes out of pit road. He looks to be safe. It looks like that he is. He will not be a threat to the drivers, so they keep it straight. 10 laps to go. Your final Next Level Racing promotional break will be here and now. Once again, Next Level Racing, high quality sim racing performance products since 2009 for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. Of course, visit nextlevelracing.com for more information on the best products in sim racing, period. And with that, we make it 7 laps to go after a final Next Level Racing promotional spot. Now, once again, Next Level Racing, high-quality sim racing performance products since 2009. And the winner of the Integrity Octane Series Championship wins a sim rig worth $2,000 on Next Level Racing's marketplace. And right now, Tom Wetmore, with 6 laps to go, gets a yellow he might be dreading as we will go into our green, white checker to finish this race off. Let's find out just what caused it. Randy Fiash looked to be involved there. Let's find out whether or not that was indeed the case. As Sam Newell goes down to the inside there, you can see Ryan Farrell was in the mix as well, and he might have gotten caught up. Randy Fiash might have indeed. Cody Smith gets down to his inside, but no, he does not, trying to find out who. And you can see most drivers still good there. Nothing we can detect. Might have been a driver outside of that range in the lead lap. Let's get back with Boomer Logan just a bit to try to find out what's going on with him. Maybe on his end something happened, but we do not see a thing. Looking around, Alan Dobbs might have gotten caught up there, and that he did, but I don't believe it was there for the yellow. Side by side, Jacob Fife gets in the wall. No, Bobby Ross gets caught up, and that might have just been it. That it was to start. The catalyst was Ross, but he comes back up and gets hit by Alan Dobbs, and that brings out what could be your final yellow with 4 laps to go. And this changes everything once again. It's going to be all about the late race dive into the first turn on what could be the last restart. And Tom Wetmore still your leading man out in front with 4 laps to do it. Now, I do believe we might go into an overtime finish if it gets extended by even 1 lap. That'll be 126. Time is running out. We do have overtime attempts. We might be able to use one of which here as they come across the stripe. They will have 3 laps to get it done, and I do believe that number 51 machine is due for one more chance to finish it off under green. 3 laps to go this time by. They might shorten it to make sure it is under green. It could be a 1-lap shootout in its own right, but the race has not yet been extended for a green-white checkered finish. iRacing sends that signal in early, and right now the signal has not been sent at all. Next time by, they come past the start-finish line. We will be able to find out if it's a 1-lap shootout or if it's a 2-lap shootout. A green-white checker, naturally or not, could be in the hands of Tom Wetmore as the number 51 rounds the 4th turn once again. As it is now a night event here in Dirt Bristol, no other driver has had control quite like the Tube Tech number 51. Seth Wells there in second with Brad Patton in third. Sam Nito there in fourth. Cody Smith is in sixth. And you can see Ryan Farrell there in the top 5. Tarbuck in 7th, 5 and 8th. Trevor Trago is in 9th. And Bobby Ross is in 10th. As it stands, 15 drivers make it 16 are on the lead lap, with Randy Fiash being the last of which, and we are due for a green-white checkered finish here in Bristol, a 2-lap showdown to settle it all in one final mile. And as the iRacing official pace car dives in what was most likely the final time, next time by, they extended just slightly. We are still getting set to go one more mile. Extending it one last time will be a 2-lap shootout. Once again, they're 1 lap to green, and I'm not sure if they're going double file here. Some drivers going down to the inside, some guys going out, and maybe that is indeed the case, but it does just look to be a coincidence. They go down and up at the same time. They will stay up high for one final run. Wetmore there in first all night long. He's at 125 laps out of the 125 scheduled. If it was no overtime, he'd have won the race already. And now he's set to win it all over again. Tom has him high. Will he hold them down all the way? Let's find out. Green flag gonna fly once again, led by Tom Wetmore and Seth Webb there in second. One more restart as overtime number 1 is in effect. As they come down to the line, it's going to be Tom Wetmore who's most likely to lead him. Seth Webb back down there by 0.5 of a second. He has Brad Patton all over him now, and the battle for third, it is brewing. It's going to be down to the inside line. Brad Patton once again. Some drivers getting a bit squirrely. No yellow flag has flown. A few hundred feet from the line. It will be official. 1 lap to go here in Bristol, and Seth Webb battles hard with Brad Patton there for second. Going to be Sam Nito there with Nick Tarbuck side by side. They all are all around, but it looks like after over 125 laps, the man who's led them all night long is getting that grand slam for his third win of the season. He led every lap of this race from pole. Tom Wetmore wins round 9 from Bristol, undefeated all night long in the last great Coliseum. Unforgettable performance. What a drive from Tom Wetmore for win number 3. And he has had this season on cruise control since Gateway. And Wetmore does it again. How about that for the 51 as Tom Wetmore leads the field home in an incredible run for him. He leads every lap of the night from pole position. No driver was faster, and it quite frankly was a race where no other stand a chance, and the one who stood all the way was Tom Wetmore, winning by 0.7 of a second over Seth Well. Your front row finished first and second respectively. Then it's going to be Brad Patton charging hard from 12th to 3rd. He'll finish in that 3rd spot, 1 second back, with Ryan Farrell in 4th. Sam Nito rounding at the top 5 with Nick Tarbuck 2 seconds down there in 6th. Then it's going to be Trevor Trago in 2nd, Jacob Fife in 8th, Bobby Ross there in 9th, and Ross Cato in position number 10. And it goes from there with Alan Dobbs 11th, Don Stevenson in 12th, Jorge Canales in 13th, and Cody Smith in 14th. Jay Haishman finishes position number 15, and Randy Fish rounds out those on the lead lap, 12 seconds down in 16th, as Kyle Cooper finishes in 17th. Guillermo Alvarez finishes in 18th, and Boomer Logan comes home in 19th. Kevin Matz, position number 20, and Ben Nicholas Ward, 21st. Joe Dix in 22nd, and Matt Jonas, 81 laps down, finishes 23rd and last on the board as Wetmore begins the burnout live and uninterrupted on FTN. Let's get all the coverage of that as we get ready to get your interviews here from Bristol. And Tom Wetmore gets it done, still burning this one down. It appears gets in a bit of motion there, and he is still indeed driving that thing down to the front stretch. The number 51 machine looks to be set to park it there. The suspension, it is blown just a bit, but at this point, that is all for naught. How about the number 51 once again getting it done? And he's still trying to limp it through, but I'm not sure how much power that number 51 has hit it just now, as we'll get his interview in just a moment. It looks to stop it right there. How about that 128 laps of action, and Tom Wetmore, the man who gets it done, and it looks like he just disconnected from a voice chat, and we would get him in right about now. Looks to be just about ready, and how about this for the man of the 51 from pole position all night long in cruise control, winning after 127 laps of action and leading every one of which Tom Wetmore dominates for the victory. How do you feel after you get your 3rd win in such a fashion?
I feel dirty. This Bristol dirt, man. I tell you, I like it better with concrete, but I might be coming a little bit fond of this red clay.
Well, absolutely a performance to be fond of there. No driver on your level, and it seems like something was dialed out there in the number 51 camp. What was the key to all that speed? Because nobody seemed to have it on the method you had.
Man, the key to it was practice. Ran 150 laps here last night, and I got taken to school by somebody. So I watched a little bit of the game footage, if you will, and learned what it would take to be a little bit quick tonight. And fortunate with track position, and unfortunately, I know some of the guys that were running up front early got kind of shoved in the back. So it let us control the race, and got some good jumps on the restarts, and had the protection of Robin Steele attorneys at law and the boys from TY Drifts watching us. Good old Tyler. So those guys watching us definitely kept us out front tonight.
And able to keep yourself out front in, of course, a race that didn't have all too much strategy when it came to tires and fuel. How did the track adapt to your car all night long, and how do you adapt in response?
Yeah, I mean, certainly the track slicks off early, so you have to find the little patches where there's just a little bit of grip left, and fortunately, we were able to find something there in the middle of the track that just worked. We were able to run it consistently, and once you can hit that same line consistently all over and over again, it lets you be fast.
And consistency certainly was the key here tonight. How about that? The 51 machine comes out on top for his third win of the season. Now, next race on the schedule, we're looking to do it different after a series of quite interesting tracks. Might be getting back to basics here, as, of course, Dirt Bristol, one of the most outliers in the NASCAR Tour. Next one up for round number 10, going to be Dover for 200 laps at the Dover Down. Time's going to be to go for win number 4, perhaps, in that.
I love Dover. It's one of my favorite tracks. We were able to win there last year, and just like here, it's going to be about consistency. And with the boys at Next Level Racing putting together some nice rigs, allows everything to stay securely mounted and customized, so I can be comfortable, run 200 laps in this Tube Tech Chevy Camaro. So as long as everything can hold together, we might be able to do something next week too. We'll have to see.
On full control of this season, of course, Tom Wetmore going for his third win of the season here in Dirt Bristol and getting it done in dominating fashion, of course, in dominating fashion as well. Now, any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Just want to thank all the competitors out here at Integrity. I mean, all night there were some guys who naturally were a little bit uncomfortable on dirt, and you saw a little bit of give and take, but a lot of guys who were learning this track and learning how to adapt to it, and just some of the respect in terms of some of the apologies in chat, and guys making mistakes but owning up to it. And that's what makes Integrity Racing League, a really great place to race, is you have guys that are humble but competitive and want to come out here and win. So super stoked to be a part of this, stoked to get the third win for the Tube Tech crew, and hopefully do it again next week in Dover, or at least give it my best shot. We got a lot of fast boys in here.
And there we have it. Looking to do it once again after domination here from Dirt Bristol. Tom Wetmore gets it done in round number 9. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
And there we have it. Seth Wellgetter next on up as Tom Wetmore gets it done. And it's going to be Seth Well, oh so close at the tail end of it. But it seems like nobody was a match on the entirety of the night. Going to drag him in just a moment here. How about the number 88 machine as well? Coming on runner-up here. You said it was one of your weaker tracks, but nonetheless able to make it work with some strengths at the tail end. Able to come home in second. How do you feel after this?
Not good.
Well, it looks like nonetheless, despite a bit of a troublesome race, you're able to come home in second. So how was it getting up there?
Painful.
Well, there we have it, keeping it brief, still there at the end. So what was the key to keeping up there at the tail end of it?
Avoiding red. That's just the way it was. The next gen on dirt right now is just uncontrollable unless you're at that like Coke level talent. So it's so hard to keep yourself right in the perfect lane, and it's frustrating. Hopefully, I was saying in the Discord, hopefully once they change the dirt a little bit here and coming updates, hopefully it's better, so it's more raceable, because the top tonight was just unusable. But all in all, good points tonight. We'll go on to, I don't know what is next week. I'll have to check the schedule and try and have a better race.
And Dover going to be next up here for a 200-lap showdown. What's going to take to go back to the pavement and go for a successful run?
That's going to be a rough one, because I don't know how many tire sets we have, but we might be blowing tires at Dover if we don't have a little bit more tire sets. So tires will be really important next week. Track position is also going to be important as well. So really being like the first car on those good tires is really going to be important, and just managing your race.
And there we have it, looking to finish yet another strong Seth Well coming home runner-up here in Dirt Bristol. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Hey, I'm gonna mix it up this week. I'll thank the Nexus boys this week. Thanks everyone at Integrity. We kept it relatively clean, but considering the circumstances. Shout out to Bobby Ross getting a top 10, man. First top 10 of the season. Look at him. And that's all we got.
And there we have it. Seth Well, the number 8 machine, comes home in second here at Dirt Bristol. A strong, hard-fought race. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
And there we have it. Well, going to be back on his way. The final man in the top 3. Well, Brad Patton there in that third position. We'll get him in just a moment. And the moment will be now as the number 1 machine able to come home in a race that had him all over the place. There, getting a high in position number 3. How do you feel after this one?
Sweaty, confused, and no, it was a blast to run that race. I mean, I hated it. I hated the combination. The setup was just way too loose. But no, it was fun. It was a different experience for everybody. Hopefully people got to have a little bit of fun. It was fun battling with Fife and all the guys, and I'm looking forward to a regular oval track next time, or if we're going to do this, maybe a late model or something. Sheesh.
Well, the next gen's always tricky with the dirt here, so what was it when it came to your success in adapting to one of the trickiest combinations on iRacing?
In all honesty, it took me about 85 laps to figure out how not to hit the throttle or the brake. So it was just basically trying to do like a 20% throttle throughout the whole thing. People would get the run off in that, but I felt like I had the better entry. And it was pretty much trying to dodge the wrecks, which I didn't do. I mean, you've seen me involved in probably about 4 incidents tonight, and you can't stop on the dirt. So it's either you go through them or you're pretty much toast. So to get involved in some of the wrecks, come back, finish top 3. I am super stoked to put this Wannagoon's Ford Mustang up in the top 3, get a podium, add some points to for the playoffs coming soon, and yeah, I'm just at a loss for words. It was fun. But it was hectic and confusing, to say the least.
And while it might have been confusing, there was no confusion where Brad Patton was tonight up in front. Now, Dover going to be next up on the schedule. Back to the pavement. What's it going to be to convert this success to yet another strong performance?
It's just going to be, like I was saying all along, it's going to be consistency. Being able to actually work, I think, the middle and the bottom. I don't know. I've never ran these cars at Dover, so it's going to be a new experience for me. But realistically, I have to get faster in these cars at qualifying. It's been horrible starting positions for me all year, but I've been able to work my way through the field. So I think I'm going to just practice on getting my hot lap hero status going, and then from there, just trying to have some good race pace. And hopefully, if I can't win, I hope one of my teammates can win and start pushing forward to becoming first, second, and third in the points here.
Pushing forward quite strong. Brad Patton gets it done here, third on the board from Dirt Bristol. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, anybody want to drive for me next time we do this dirt oval? That was fun, but no. I got to thank Wannagoons for taking me on this season. Finally got the sponsorship. We just did nice little setup sharing with the Maconi. So that's I'm looking forward to working with them. And shout out to my teammates here, Carson Biddle and Trevor Trigo. Trevor had some bad luck tonight, but he seemed to come through and come back, and I think he finished 6th in that. And I'm also going to give a shout out to Bobby Ross. I don't know if anybody said it in that, but tonight it's his first top 10 in this league, and all the congrats to him. He did a hell of a job.
Absolutely. Now, Brad Patton, hell of a job in your own right, third on the board here from Dirt Bristol. Thank you for your time.
Hey, thank you.
And the drivers requested this one, so we're going to get him in. Here am now the driver of the number 44 machine, and Bobby Ross, first top 10 in this league. 9th spot here from Dirt Bristol. A hectic race, and you take the gains from it. How do you feel after this night?
Ooh, just a roller coaster of emotions tonight. I think I was up to third place at one point, racing side by side with Seth, and then I think I fell all the way back to 18th at one point, just up and down, sideways. Man, it was just a workout tonight. I'll tell you that.
And a workout it was indeed for every driver, and certainly able to come out with the best of it. A lot of drivers getting involved with it. It's a bit of a crumple up on your hood there, so despite some action on that car, it looks like you're able to make it work quite well. So what was the key to working through it despite some incidents?
Just once you finally got the hang of the track, is once it started deteriorating and you got the hang of that, you were clear. It wasn't as bad. But if someone wasn't, as used to like dirt racing beforehand, yeah, I could definitely see someone having a hard time with that. So it's practice and repetition is how you get used to this.
And the practice makes perfect here, able to get some speed in that car. So what was your key when it came to the pace and the lines there? So it seems like a lot of drivers have a lot of different thoughts on how these next gens drive. Where were you placing the car all night long?
For me, I was kind of doing more like mid to low, especially throughout the whole throughout the majority of the race. Towards the end, or I'm sorry, midway through the race, I was kind of going high to mid. But it depends. Like I said, it depends on the state of the track, and like I said, though, I did from mid to low. That was like at least my positioning with regard to the track.
And there we have it, able to keep it exactly where you wanted it, and that's what leads you to your first top 10 of this season. How about that? First top 10 in the league, as a matter of fact. What's it going to take to go down to Dover and perhaps go for back-to-back?
Just like I said before, practice. Definitely gonna have to worry about tire management with Dover. They don't call it the Monster Mile for nothing.
And absolutely looking to go to the Monster Mile to put the power back on for Indy Autosport. Bobby Ross gets it done with his first top 10, a 9th tonight. Any final thoughts to anyone else you'd like to thank?
Sure. I'd like to always give a huge thanks to JCam for getting me a part of this league. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to take part in it this year. Indy Autosports, Tokyo Drift. Thank you for letting me represent you guys for this series. And of course, Joe Yanks, a hell of a teammate. And it's just that we're always helping each other whenever we can. And at least today, it was my night.
And that it was Bobby Ross coming home with his first top 10 in the Integrity Octane Series, a 9th here in round 9 from Dirt Bristol. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, and thank you to Fireball Talks NASCAR for bringing an amazing coverage, as always. Have a good night.
And there we have it. Have a good night, as well as we, of course, have a great show every night, every race night here in the Integrity Racing League, Mondays and Tuesdays. And we truly hope that you guys do enjoy Bobby Ross night and Tom Wetmore, the race winner, here from Dirt Bristol, as the checkered flag has fallen. I do believe River Page and the Highline Racing League are still live on FTN after I'm going to be done for the night, so be sure to check that out. Always a great show there in the Texaco Truck Series, as I plan to be live next with the Highline Racing League Premier Series in just a few days' time on Thursday night. Going to be a great show as always. And Pocono Raceway, I believe, going to be a great one to watch out for as Tom Wetmore gets his 3rd win of this season. I'm David Kreutz, your host for tonight's presentation. What a win from Wetmore, and this has been coverage of the 9th round of the Integrity Octane Series season here at Dirt Bristol. Thank you all for spending your time live on FTN. We hope to see you all whenever we're live once again. Thank you all once more, and we hope you have a great night.